Hello on the planet and beyond, just shot it up between here and there. And today's video is centered around a previous video I actually did surrounding event planning. The Super Bowl is coming up, okay? So I think about waste, waterways, the taxing of resources in a specific area. And we all know Las Vegas to be this beautiful place out of the desert, which our ancestors that were keyed in and tuned into the planet, they would not have conducted. Wherever there's water, wherever there's a constant flow of water, our ancestors would bed down there and say, okay, this is a location that we can build a community. However, if there isn't a water source, they would continue movement. Okay, there are populations throughout this planet that are nomadic. However, that still stands a water source. Okay, so when we're thinking about Las Vegas and the location of their water source, it is towards the Colorado area. Okay, so that water is filtered. Excuse me, not always filtered. It's moved and routed to a location in which it could be extracted and used for different things. Now, it was interesting. I saw someone watching the waterworks in Las Vegas, and they were amazed by it. And I can get it being your first time seeing something like that, the enjoyment behind it. However, the Most High God, the creator and curator of this entire experience, created things like waterfalls. Okay, these beautiful, magnificent feats of nature to where you can actually sometimes stand under and feel the Most High God's magnificence. Okay, and so the things that we create, these man-made things, are only replicas of what the Most High God constructed, just as it being so awesome, right? You can't even explain it. You can't give it a name, which I also find interesting when it comes to different religions. It's all under one higher power, the omnipotent, the energy that speaks through us, the birds, the bees, the lakes, the seas, everything. So we have to have religious appreciation in a way, because some people are using it to get on a straight and narrow. However, even the religious text, which is a culmination of testimonies, was used to crucify the Messiah. So get that out there. So people, anything that I tell you, of course, I'm going to move it to a blog so you can actually have some of the resources that I go to display this information, because some things I know and I want to express to you all. However, I do want everyone to be in the mindset of research. Okay, always researching, always looking into what is exactly going on, what is being said, and vet it. Okay, vet the information, because once you start operating in that nature, you'll be able to make this decisive and educated movements based off of the information. Okay, being an educated consumer, being an educated citizen, being an educated human being, someone living in this body that has to be in balance with this planet to even live and survive. And that's why always water is a big thing, because it is our lifeline. It is literally the blood of the earth. Okay, it just runs clear. There's only difference. Okay, so it heats the planet just like blood does in the system. I'll give some comparisons just in case you don't really understand that concept. So some people have joked about I put on some weight for I think that's the waste pickup. I believe so. So there's some people say, oh, I put on some weight for the winter, like as to say like that's going to keep them warm. However, it can act as a bit of insulation, but it's not actual heat. Heat comes from the blood. So when you go out and you warm the system by moving it, the blood excuse me, the blood warms. Okay, So, because there's reactions happening, and those reactions are bonds breaking. And when bonds break, that's energy release. And the energy release is in the form of heat energy, thermal energy. And so you're able to heat the body. That's why, if you're outside and got a game and it's cold, it's like do a few jumping jacks. Do a few jumping jacks. Do something to get the system going, and that way you can actually stay warm. I almost want to check. Hold on a minute. One second. All right, y'all. I am back. Let's see. Okay, so not quite sure where we left off, but we're gonna keep rolling. So with any type of large events, any type of gatherings, even your day to day in your home, it's thinking about where these wastes are going, okay? And because we don't have a good understanding of where these wastes are going, people aren't educated in that information. And what you don't know is what you don't know. So we also have to look at education differently versus like sizing somebody up based off of what they know. However, it's a very small segment amongst all this infinite of information. So you good in that field. Not in all the other fields, okay? So, yeah, where's the waste going, okay? Because there's going to be people out there, eating things, using the restroom, trash, waste, all these things are going to be compiled in a desert, more water taxing on the resources there. And I have an idea of what we can do to minimize those things, because I know that's always been an issue when it comes to environmental justice, environmental litigation, environmental cleaning, is that, it's going to take more energy, more effort out of us. However, if we do better consulting solutions and get to the root of the issue, we'll be able to bring forth a better plan, okay? And we have to think about that. In the military, we call it backwards planning. So at the very end, what are you going to be left with? Waste. So let's figure out what we're going to do with the waste before it even gets to that point. So with waste, you need to segment them into their compartments. And from there, you develop your design, okay? So, yeah, the minor disruption was a pickup of large waste, like furniture waste. I wanted to see what site it goes to, and I want to follow that thing through to see the process of that, because again, the process is what we have to address to be able to have better solutions. Because again, like environmentalists get a lot of flack sometimes about being like extremists and like, people throwing red paint on fur, or people putting a rope, or I think it was like something like putting rope around their neck to emulate the wastes that are in waterways. It was something like that. I need to look it up for sure. But it was just like to emulate what is happening on the surface, which I can see enactment being a great representation. However, we need to go about it with a plan. Okay, that's the biggest thing. Okay, so what is the plan? The Super Bowl is going to have a lot of people out there. Toby, true, but I need to get his name right. You know what? I apologize because with me, I can listen to the same songs over and over again, and I could be stuck in that time loop continual. And yeah, he said his name quite a few times, and I should know it. But his one of his songs hasn't been on loop for me. I'm gonna learn his name. I need to learn. You know, I know who he is. I think that's most important. A name, I names are harder for me to remember. I remember a face always. Names, I think, and that's to go back to ancient times or our ancestors. I feel like there were a lot of names that were given based off of, you know, tribal affiliation or certain colors that you would wear based on your tribe or your connection. And it would make it easier to identify you, or to at least identify you with the group that you're from. You know, that's tribal scars and tribal markings come from. Um, However, names are just interesting sometimes because you try to associate something with that person. You don't really have anything to associate. And then there's times you look at a person and it's like, you look more like a Tim than a Bob. Let's get back on track, y'all. The Super Bowl. Taxing of resources, water resources, waste resources. Where's all this trash going to go? Because now it's going to be a larger encapsulation of waste. Where are these things going? What is going to be the process of them? Our ancestors did do a process of incineration. Okay, so that technology is going to exist. However, we need to figure out ways to do this process that's going to be effective. Okay, and I have ideas. When I say we need to come with better ways, is I also want other people to be thinking of these things. Okay, I have, Between Here and There LLC. Check it out. YouTube. Where we also Facebook, TikTok, the website betweenhtllc.com. Those connectors and what I'm able to expand and do, and I'm definitely going to build out that network. However, I put out information so everyone can grab these nuggets and build something themselves as well, in the sense of, hey, I have my heart in this, a good heart to want to serve the people, to keep the planet clean, to strengthen the legacy, then yeah, all for it. Like, listen, grab the nuggets that you can. Don't carbon copy a person ever. That's just you're not gonna be. It's not gonna flourish because the seed has to grow another seed and another seed and another seed. It's a lifeline. If you don't have that lifeline, that seed will die just then. That's it. End of life. Okay. So, think we understand that. Yeah, so Super Bowl, thinking about these things, there's going to be housing a lot of people, a lot of toilets flushing, a lot of water being used, fountains, that water being moved in, and we need to be tracking this. Similar idea, too, with our meat consumption. In the United States, all parts of the animal aren't consumed. You just want a ribeye, I want a sirloin, I want this part, I don't want to eat the hooves, I don't want to eat the tongue, I don't want to eat the nothing else. And hey, people have their preference. However, other places around the world respect animals enough to say, we're going to consume other parts of it because all of it is beef, all of it is chicken, all of it is whatever, animal of your liking. It's just, are you able to consume that piece? Not too many people are eating fish scales. There might be a way to prepare it. Who knows? Maybe boil them for a long time and then toast. Who knows? Make it a crumb topping. There's probably ways you can use it. We can figure out ways now. But because of that, there's a lot of waste, and so we're not going back to the drawing board and evaluating it and saying, okay, it took the culmination of one whole cow, because it's not just one cow per like grocery store. It's a lot of different cow pieces, you know. So say for example, if it was straight from the butcher to the grocery store, right? One cow, we only using certain parts of the cow. It's placed there. Not all the pieces are getting sold. You've reduced it because it's coming close to its expiration date, and still you haven't used all the pieces of that one cow. Excuse me. Now, before expiration, of course, you have cryotherapy, which is freezing, and you can extract that meat for later, and you can continue selling it. However, that's also a type of resource, an energy resource, to keep it cool before it's, you know, purchased or whatnot. And even after that, there's still expiration dates put on that for the safety of the consumer. Okay, so you go through that whole process, and then you start to look at your numbers and see, you know what, we only use 1/20th, 21st of this animal. So why next time we're gonna kill a whole animal, or I mean, of course, you can't kill half of an animal. That's not funny, but it's just logic, right? So you kill one animal, and you decide, okay, since one out of 21 pieces, right? We only sold 1 out of 21 pieces. Small division divided. Okay. Then next time, let's start to expand it out to maybe 15 grocery stores. So that way it's going to get used instead of killing a whole nother animal and then dividing it up. We have to look at those things end to beginning. Backwards planning. And that's another thing that we have to organize how we want our future to be, because we're living in this very fast motion, and people aren't seeing all these things. And I have a lot of things. I haven't been a minimalist. I've tried that. I know I need different tools for different things, and so therefore I do have things. However, how my things are, they can be incinerated, they can be refabbed, they can be reused in some form of fashion. I definitely attempt to have quality things. Now, if something's broken, that's another story. Then you get rid of it under those circumstances. However, I lean towards more natural things, because those are the things that we'll be able to return back to the planet. However, those high levels of plastics and other things that we use are just exacerbating the issue that we already have. And I'm going to post some pictures today of the, well, maybe not today, because I'm talking more about the Super Bowl, but it lines a lot of the waterways in like India, throughout the planet. Throughout the planet, people have gotten so used to, if I consume something, single-use something, I'm going to throw the waste in this waterway. This is just natural. So we have to think about education. We have to think about solutions. We have to think about the ending before the beginning. Okay? So, yeah, I pray that this message is delivered properly into who needs to hear it. Pass it to friends and family so they can get more of an understanding. Even when you having like family cookouts, you have a cookout, you got to think about, okay, we do have trash cans. I would love for you to have like recycling trash cans, at least 3, where you can put all your single-use plastics, where you can put your like food waste, and then another one could be just things that, you need to get rid of, like tablecloths. I'm thinking of what else maybe glass could be put in there as well. You probably can put that. I almost would I would put a can without a liner glass that's been, if it's been sort of juice or something, you need to swish it, rinse it around. If it's alcohol, you can kind of get away with it if it's a high percentage. You can put that at the bottom of the can, then put a liner in there, and then put the trash can liner, and then once you put the trash can liner, then put the other waste in that bag, right? Plastic one, food waste one, and that could be a good 3 compartment separation. Okay, so for your cookouts, your family reunions, thinking about what you can do to minimize the waste, because you're going to be building up a lot of waste. Especially if you have like a country, cookout, you're out in the middle of nowhere, the porta potties, that's how much is taxed there and where is it going to. There's a company, and I need to get some of my cards together. It's called like We Pick Dumps or something. I'm trying to put this business on. It's a company that services porta potties, and that's the service you'll need for certain events. That's just a part of backwards planning. It's part of life. We need to be thinking about these things and thinking about where our waste is going. And because we're not thinking about where our waste is going, we're having this issue. So yeah, I'm wrapping this up for today. We need to think about that, because it's giving me a little. That's why I'm making this video, because it's like I was just talking about events and backwards planning for those events and what that looks like. I believe it's called Event Planning Network to Groundwork. Let me look up the actual name of that video. Network to Groundwork Event Planning, and this is on YouTube, Between HT LLC. Okay, so you can go there, combine these 2 videos. Both of them are kind of short. I definitely can put up an hour something video, but I feel like people are deterred from longer videos sometimes if they don't have the time. But I want to make sure that you get this information to everybody around you, so we can make change today. Okay, so love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Check out the website, betweenhtllc.com. The class, The Solo Traveler, is your one-stop shop to be able to traverse the planet as an educated nomad. Okay, being able to maneuver. If you have to maneuver by yourself, and even in a group, these skills are very useful, because you can't expect a person, just because you're all on a trip together, you can't expect them to have the same skill sets that you do to survive in certain situations. And we also talk about enjoyment, because we want to be able to enjoy these trips, but we want to enjoy them safely. So we have to ensure that we know how to do so. And that's what I express throughout it. Being an intelligence analyst, being a veteran, being an environmental scientist, and just an overwhelming concerned citizen. I love all y'all. I appreciate y'all. And hope this message is received well. Stay prayed up to the Most High God, the Almighty, the Omnipotent, the Creator. And I'll check y'all on the next one. It's Sade, signing out. In 3, 2, 1.